Hello friends, I'm Akash, and this is your News of the Week for the week of June 18th to June 25th, 2022. I'm Akash Akodi, and we have some great stories for you this week. They're very important stories. First, we had the United States Supreme Court overturning the Roe v. Wade abortion law. Is the biggest news in the news this week. Next, an update on gun control in the United States government. And finally, we introduce India's next president, Mrs. Draupadi Murmu. All that and more on this News of the Week edition. First up, we have Roe v. Wade overturned in a landmark 6-3 decision. The Supreme Court of the United States held on June 24th, 2022, that the Constitution of the United States of America does not confer a right to abortion, overturning the precedent held by Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey for 50 years. Roe v. Wade was a 1973 Supreme Court landmark decision which ruled that the Constitution of the United States protects a pregnant woman's liberty to choose to have an abortion without excessive government restriction. This, alongside 1992's SCOTUS landmark case, Planned Parenthood v. Casey, basically instituted the established precedent for the legality of abortion in America. But in 2018, the state of Mississippi introduced the Gestational Age Act, banning abortion after the first 15 weeks of pregnancy. In response, the Jackson Women's Health Organization, Mississippi's sole abortion clinic, sued the state over the law, and the lawsuit eventually made it to the Supreme Court in June of 2020, where it was expected that the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, would be revealing their stance in the summer of 2022. But on May 2nd, 2022, politics news site Politico found and leaked the draft majority opinion of the Supreme Court regarding this issue. And they would be voting in favor of the state of Mississippi, devolving abortion laws down to the states. The decision was officially announced on June 24th, 2022, by a vote of 6 supporting to 3 opposing. And following this, over 20 states instituted laws to restrict abortions. 13 of those were laws that triggered the moment the Supreme Court made their decision that Roe v. Wade would be overturned. Now, while pro-life advocates are lauding this as a victory for unborn children, pro-choice advocates said it was endangering the lives of women. President Joe Biden said that this is a sad day for the court and for the country, while Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, a Republican, said that this decision was courageous and correct. These opposing sides still continue to quarrel over this debate of the legality of abortion to this day. And President Joe Biden said that the only way that abortion can be legalized again is for the Supreme Court to overturn their decision. But we're going to have to see in the future if that is going to happen. Next, we have yet another decision by the Supreme Court. In another 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court struck down a New York gun control law that prevented people from carrying a concealed pistol or revolver gun without having a special reason to do so. The court's ruling stated that the law, which has been in place for over a century since 1911, violated the 14th Amendment by not allowing the law-abiding citizens to exercise their Second Amendment right to bear arms or carry guns. Supporters stated that this decision ensures the law rights for guns to American citizens, while opposers state that it widens the opportunity for yet more mass shootings to occur. While the United States judicial branch went in favor of gun rights, the United States executive branch, Congress and the President, went in favor of gun control, with the Senate and House of Representatives voting to pass the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which enhances the background checks in order to own guns, penalizes those who traffic guns, and many other controlling measures for guns. President Biden signed this bipartisan bill into law on June 25th, 2022. Republican Senator John Cornyn of Texas stated that he doesn't believe in doing nothing in the face of what we saw in Uvalde and what we've seen in far too many communities. And House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi, a Democratic representative from California, urged representatives to vote yes to this bill, with special emphasis on protecting children from further gun violence. And finally, India's ruling National Democratic Alliance, or NDA, has picked Mrs. Draupadi Murmu as the nominee for the upcoming presidential election next month. If elected, Mrs. Murmu would be the first tribal woman to occupy the top constitutional post of president in the world's largest democracy, India. Born into a poor tribal family in the state of Orissa, Mrs. Murmu started her career as a teacher. She then devoted her life to public service, and with rich administrative experience she gained as a minister and later a governor, the NDA believes that Mrs. Murmu will be the ideal person to serve as the President of India. In the past, the NDA has picked the famous inspiring personality and rocket scientist Dr. Abdul Kalam as the president in 2002. And with the NDA's current majority in the parliament and in the individual states' assemblies, the election of Mrs. Draupadi Murmu is almost certain. And I actually really like this because a woman, and that too a teacher, is now being elected as the head of the country, India. And that is all of your news of the week for the week of June 18th to June 25th, 2022. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in another News of the Week. Goodbye.